first weekend in March, and I thought before we start sort of doing some work at the allotment this weekend, I'll just give you a quick update of a couple of things at home. So I'm constantly ferrying to the allotment, me or Nigel, or both of us, of parcels arriving here. And I just got another parcel today, and it's from Sarah Raven. So these been long awaited dahlias. So what I have today is let's just have a look. So this is the Sublime Dark Dahlia collection and Butterfly Dahlia collection, 5 tubers and 5 tubers. So it consists of Bishop of Auckland, Chat Noir, Joey Mirella, Rip City, Sam Hopkins, and Arthur's Doorstep Dahlia collection, 4 tubers. Okay, so that's what we have. So for the catalogue, and here are the dahlias, each of them in a separate little bag. So this one is Chat Noir, and they're reasonably well packaged. So I suppose quite soon we will be planting those. In addition to the dahlias, I also got my last packet of from a seed company, and this time I used Premier Seeds Direct. They are one of the sort of companies, seeds sort of resellers I buy from, but the seeds are always very good quality, and I would say although the packaging is not terribly exciting, they're very generous with a number of seeds, and I really rather like them. I like different companies for different things, but I would recommend them. So just to show you what actually came as a kind of impulse buy, I was actually researching and looking for seeds of salsify and scorzonera, and I just wanted to buy from the same company, and there was not that many that did both. So I've got, let me just find them. So I bought, well, first of all, as you browse through, you can come across things you might fancy, or you were looking somewhere else and say, oh yes, I'll just get that. So this time that was for cucumber La Diva F1. I grew that 2 years ago and it was fantastic. So I went for that again. I also bought squash called spaghetti. It kind of looks like spaghetti when you cut into it. It splits easily. So that's one. And another one which is gourd called something turban. You know, very, very interesting looking sort of gourd. Okay. And here are the packets for the scorzonera and salsify. So the scorzonera is called Giant Rooted Maxima, and salsify is Sandwich Island, and there's 200 and 160 seeds in those packets. And the gourd I was talking about is called Turk's Turban, which is very pretty. I also absolutely love sunflowers, so I've got some seeds already, but I also fancied some which I ran out of, which is the sunflower yellow pygmy. It's very small, about less than 2 feet tall sunflower, and I plant them underneath of the giant Russian or any giant sunflowers. I also love the red sunflowers called I just dropped one. Bear with me. Red Sun. It's called Red Sun, and I've got something which looks like sunflower, but it isn't, and it's called Tithonia Goldfinger. So that will be interesting too. And Calendula Neon. So these are the things as I was buying Scorzonera and Salsify, I couldn't resist. So the other things I would like to share with you is how we're progressing with chilies, peppers and aubergines. And the aubergines are looking okay. Peppers, I had much more dumping off than I would hope so. Hence I resown a few more seeds. But let's just have a look at them. So these are the aubergines, and these first three are Bonica, and these three are the moneymaker, I think, aubergine. You know, it's the same name as a tomato. And these are it's a selection of various peppers and chilies, but because they have not been doing terribly well, now I completely lost which one is which, and I have a feeling that it will be just a potluck. Some of them are not doing so great. Look, this is gonna die. It had a dumping off situation here, but there will be few which might survive to the end. And here some I planted again. So I'm doing, I think it's only one jalapeno surviving there. So I'm doing some more jalapeno, as well as called chili cigarette biondo. And then, that's not terribly, and then cayenne pepper, and just a normal bell pepper as well. And this is my first tomato. I'm starting with tigerella. I'm going to sow some more seeds soon, but these these pots came with the seeds, and I just thought I utilize them. I'll see if the chili, especially in peppers, they should really come early. I don't know, some of these kits, they supply these little pots, which I know they are very good, but maybe for germinating I'm not quite sure if that will work, but let's experiment. We will be planting the first early, and I think that's Sharpies Express. These are going to go straight on that ground which was covered for months with the fabric, and we have a visitor. This is Monty. This is Monty, Nigel's best friend. He comes for his biscuits.
That's it. Hello.
You're gorgeous, you are, Monty.
Go, off you go. Go, Tanya. Go, off you go.
Where was I? So yes, we're going to be putting the potatoes straight on that ground and just cover it with compost, really. That's what we did in those beds on the left last year, and it worked perfectly fine. So we're going to kind of space them, 45 foot and a half, and well, we see what we get there. I think Nigel put some Jerusalem artichokes. Did you put them right along that edge, outside edge there? This way, yeah. So there's 5 tubers went straight into that ground yesterday, and we're going to plant this now. So Nigel's just placing them. We nod a little bit further. About 45 centimeters is about, yeah, something like that. The cheat way up, and we see if we do probably 2 rows with them. Yes, there's a certain amount of grunting going on. A little bit closer. That one is really far away then. We can squeeze one more. And what I would do now is to cover that row with the compost and then uncover a little bit more, because obviously there'll be 2 rows of these Sharpies Express. Yep. Okay. So the 2 rows of the first early will be then also covered with hay. So that's what I have done in the past and have been very successful. So they have lots of organic matter underneath, and then they will have covering of green compost to reduce the weeds, because obviously underneath there used to be stinging nettles forevermore, and although probably the roots have died, but the seeds still probably viable. And after that, after the covering of green compost, just a bit of hay. The first early potatoes, 2 rows planted and covered. This is another small job I'm going to be doing today. This is planting of the look, they're already starting here, of the gladiola. So I'm going to put them in the soil, and as we in this bed, so one of the flower beds, so I'm not going to be putting sweet peas on that this year. I'm going to be doing something slightly different. So I know that here in the center, I'm earthing very carefully, but I know that there is nothing very much planted. So I'm quite sure that these are going to be okay. I'm planting them fairly deep because I don't want them to be dug up by anything. And we had really quite a bit of mishaps recently. Okay, there is something I've unearthed here. I'm going to put it carefully back. The soil is lovely and crumbly. I'm just making sure they're going in the right way, where the roots were, and this is where the growing tips are. These are gladiolas, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned. Oh dear. Two more to go, probably on this side. Again, very careful how I dig this. And maybe one here. Okay, I've got something here. Again, quite unscathed, so I'm going to put that right back. I think is a and the job is done. They all very happily sort of inside this bed. So we just got around today to mulch those raspberries. I'm gonna make sure they have a little bit of light left. All is done and looking great. Now the next thing around here, I will be putting some more cardboard here, because this is going to be quite informal. This is where I want to plant some oca, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to plant it first in the pots and then transplant it. Once that is done, I know it can grow for years in the same place, but this would be the area this is the start of the fruit forest. So next week I'll be collecting my cardboard again and putting it here to suppress the stinging nettles, which, as you can see, are going to take over this area any minute now. Just to show you what's going on in a greenhouse, I have put up one of those inexpensive little micro polytunnel, which I got from Wilco, and it's going to provide some extra shelving but also extra protection for more tender plants. I've got all these, there are some shallots, some brassicas. I think I have a little clip of what is in brassicas, and yacon, and some everything I had before. There are leeks there, and salvias, and some celeriac. We also moved peas and the sweet peas up there because, frankly, everything was devoured by mice. We were fairly rodent resistant up till recently, and they found the way, so we will need to sort that out. Nigel has already ordered some metal mesh, and we will see how that goes. However, the last job for today is the potting of at least some of the Sarah Raven dahlia collections, and also putting those potatoes up somewhere, so they because they will eat them. So I'm putting that up somewhere high again, and I'm going to make the labels first and then just pot them on. Actually, the order came with instructions how to plant them, so I usually plant it straight into the ground, but this time I will be doing it differently because I've got quite loads of them. It's about 15 dahlias there, so I've got to get on with that. So what I've got here is actually green compost mixed up with some of the spent soil, just to give it a bit of a life. Although the green compost been here for a while, so I think it's not entirely without its own merits, and it must have some sort of microbes in there. Oh dear, these are very well packed. Okay. We have a lift up. So this particular one is totally tangerine. I'm just putting, these are 2-liter pots. These are probably minimum what they can be in. I haven't made up my mind yet when I'm gonna be planting them. Oh look, just to show you, I don't know if that's visible, but there is a nodule here already. So I'm just going to put that straight into this pot. Perhaps those little fingers, if I can try without damaging them, put them a little bit in the soil so they spread more evenly, and then just fill that up completely with soil. All the way to the top. I have a label somewhere in my pocket. Oh dear. Yes, I do. I just need to find it. So, Arthur's Doorstep Collection, Totally Tangerine. I'm going to put that straight here. First by wasting my pocket and go for the next one. He's going to be watered in and left in the, this is quite a small one. This one is Waltzing Matilda. So I've got my label. I've got the pots. Actually, this used to be Mystic Spires Salvia. Into my very large pockets. I'm putting some compost on the bottom. Okay, this is fairly smallish, so that size pot will be more than enough. Let me just take that gently out, because you know sometimes these are fairly, look, that finger, that finger is already broken off, so that's useless. It needs to be entire thing, so that's why they're quite delicate. I just put them in, give them as much. And this year I will actually try to take cuttings, because I think Rachel from London Potager did that last year, and she had better flowers, I think, from the cutting than the ones from the corm. So let me do that. But to start this, I actually need to have, okay, that's my label in, and that second one done. So once you start, they're quite easy. Another pot here. And another dahlia. This one is Bishop of Auckland. So I've planted 8 dahlias. There is probably 7 left, but I've run out of suitable sized pots. So that's it from us. So just quickly recap. We've planted some dahlias. We've planted first lot of early potatoes. These are Sharpies Express. I've planted some lettuces from here. I transplanted lots of things around. Put a little polytunnel here. Nigel, what have you been doing?
I pruned a dahlia.
Oh, you pruned the dahlia, and you've shoveled the things onto the potatoes, and also all that lovely wood chippings went on the raspberries. You've done all the hard work, haven't you?
Yes, dear.
Well, thank you very much if you watched us as far as this, and hope you have a good week and a good gardening week, and the weather holds up, and we will see you next week, hopefully. Thank you.
Take
Bye.
care. Bye.
Bye.